Longinotti Meccanica SRL is proud to present its most recent version of fully automated plant for the production of thin, single-layer marble cement agglomerated tiles. The plant is complete to the finishing line and was entirely designed and installed by Longinotti Meccanica. The plant produces single-layer tiles in the size 41 by 41 centimeters. In the layout of the factory, you can see the different parts making up the plant. The batching mixing plant for the preparation of a wet mix. The 5-station revolving press, model K905MS, with a pressing force of up to 900 tons. The automatic moving line model CM905FS, for the collection of the fresh molded tiles from the press and the moving of the cured tiles. The storage area of the trays for the curing process, in this case of natural kind. The robot car for carrying the trays from the automatic moving line to the curing area and back. The calibration, grinding, polishing line composed of a 2-head calibrating machine model GND60 and a 17-head grinding polishing machine model GNP60 with 5 fixed heads and 12 heads on a mobile bridge. The chamfering machine. The finishing waxing line. All machines making up this production line are fully computerized and controlled by PLC's Siemens to match all production requirements. The plant is also equipped with telemetric control of each single machine for the teleassistance. Longinotti Meccanica is therefore able to monitor all operations in real time through a simple dedicated telephone line and detect and overhaul possible malfunctions directly from its factory in Italy. We can now follow, step by step, the production stages. In these containers are stored different granulates necessary for the production. As you can see, these granulates are of various kinds and dimensions, well selected and clean. The batching mixing plant is made up of a group of 4 hoppers suitable to hold 3 kinds of granulates and the marble powder, a weighing conveyor belt, a primary planetary mixer to mix all components with water, and a secondary planetary mixer which completes the mixing to assure a very good homogeneity. Neither chemical additives nor fluidificants are used in the preparation of the wet mix. The PLC of a batching plant may store in its memory up to 100 different batching recipes. The wet mix is then introduced in the tank of the dosator of the press by means of a vibrating channel. A stirrer in the tank of a dosator keeps the mix homogeneous. The automatic dosator distributor pours the wet mix into the molds of the press in the exact preset quantity. This quantity can be easily modified by adjusting the capacity of the dosing cups at variable volume to get a different thickness of the tile. It's only the quantity of the mix poured into the mold which fixes the thickness of the MS tiles. It's therefore easy to change the thickness of the tiles simply by adjusting the height of the dosing cups in the dosator. In the stations of a press following the dosing one, the molds are subject to vibration, adjustable in intensity to match the fluidity of a wet mix, and the mortar spreads out evenly in the mold. An optional device called upper vibrator as the one shown here, assures in any case a perfectly leveled spread of the mortar in the mold before the pressing operation. Part of the water in excess is already evacuated from the mortar in these vibration stations. In the molding station, during the pressing operation, the evacuation of the excess of water is completed. Most of the water is evacuated from the bottom of the mold through the special drainage system, while the small quantity which surfaces at the upper face is removed by suction through the pressing pad itself. The molding at gradually increasing high pressure, over 200 kilograms per square centimeter, in connection with a water evacuation system, gives high density to the tile and increases considerably transverse strength and resistance to wear, getting practically rid of any inner porosity. The water evacuated from the mix flows clean out of the press, without carrying cement or powder, and is sent to the water decantation and recycling plant, along with the sludgy water coming from the polishing line. The last station of the press is the demolding one. From the extractor of the press, the tiles are taken up by vacuum and laid down horizontal on the trays of the automatic moving line. In this case, on each tray are laid 4 moldings of the size 41 by 41 centimeters. That is 8 tiles altogether. The distance between traverse slats of a tray is fixed taking into account the size of a product, in order to provide the tiles with a good support and prevent them from distorting during the curing stage. The trays are automatically superimposed to a stack of 30. The stack is then shifted to the collection station and from here carried to the curing tunnel by the robot car. The movement sequence of the robot car starts with a slave car collecting the stack of trays holding fresh molded tiles, continues with its coming back on the master car, and ends with the master car moving towards the program curing tunnel and the slave car revolving by 180 degrees. In this particular plant, the stacks of trays are laid on a single floor, as we can see. It would be, however, possible, if required by lack of space, to have them laid on 2 floors. Afterwards, the slave car collects, from the program position in one of the curing tunnels, a stack of trays holding the cured tiles and carries it to the proper station of the automatic moving line. All movements made by the mast and slave cars are programmable in relation to the required production and to the relevant curing time. At the same time a tray is being filled with fresh molded tiles, another tray is being emptied from the cured tiles molded the previous day. The cured tiles are also collected by vacuum and laid down on a motorized path which conveys them to the calibration grinding polishing line. The whole plant runs automatically and can be surveyed by means of detailed synoptic panels which allow one to follow every stage of the manufacturing process. Each single operation can also be performed in manual mode. As already said, the plant is controlled by highly reliable PLC Siemens, allowing the check of the operation sequence and a fast and precise detection of faults also by Telesystems. All control boards are grouped in one place to make easy the job of the supervisor of the plant. The calibrating machine with diamond heads has the task to smooth down any small disuniformity in the thickness of the tiles and performs it by grinding away as little material as needed from the back side of the tiles. Calibration of the backside is in any case useful in optimizing the subsequent polishing process, but is of great importance in case the tiles have also to be chamfered. After leaving the calibrating machines, the tiles are turned over and then conveyed to the polishing machine by means of a special feeding path. Presence, arrival and feeding of tiles are all controlled automatically. At the entrance of a polishing machine, a special motorized device separates the tiles by a few millimeters in order to protect the edges from damages due to the tiles rubbing into each other. The 17 heads linear polishing machine is specially designed for the polishing of single-layer tiles in order to reach the best possible quality of polishing, even in connection with a high productivity and with granulates of large size. To this purpose, the machine is made up of two sections. The first provided with fixed heads equipped with grinding wheels, diamond discs, and Frankfurt segments to smooth and calibrate the surface of the tiles. The second provided with a crosswise mobile bridge on which are fitted the 10 or 12 pneumatic heads to be equipped with abrasive and polishing Frankfurt segments. The movement of the bridge is adjustable both in width and in speed. This machine is also equipped with a special electronic system TEC for the program calibration, which provides automatically a constant thickness of the tiles at the end of the first section. In the electric switch and control board, a PLC Siemens checks continuously the actual parameters with the set ones in order to exploit the machine at its best. Each head is also provided with its own control panel. The tiles get out of the machine well calibrated and polished and are conveyed to the chamfering machine. Soon after leaving the polishing machine, the tiles run on a selection path, which automatically eliminates the possibly broken ones, in order not to interfere with the proper working of the following chamfering machine. The chamfering machine chamfers the four sides of a tile by means of two groups of 4 inclined adjustable heads, with the possibility of choosing a flat or round chamfer and of varying the dimension of a chamfer itself. Following the chamfering machine, there is a drying path with upper and lower hot air blowers for a first removal of the water from the tile's surfaces. The tiles enter then a drying kiln at high temperature and soon afterwards run on a path subject to forced ventilation. This process removes the water which had wetted through the first millimeters of thickness, thus setting free the micropores, which are now able to absorb the liquid wax or the impregnation fluid distributed in the following stage. The last stage of production involves waxing and/or impregnation and gives the tiles a stain-proof surface. The dedicated machine is made up of a cleaning roller, a first group of sprinklers for the wax and a spreading brush, and a second group of sprinklers and brush for the impregnation fluid. The tiles get out of the manufacturing line well polished and waxed, as befits a product of high quality, and are ready for laying. This specific case, the packing on pallets is made manually. But Longinotti Mechanica can also install an automatic palletizing line. The pallets with the finished tiles are carried with a forklift out of the factory and stored in the yard. From Longinotti's technology, the MS single-layer tile, a reality which stands every trial.